Welcome to Velocity, the Vista Chamber podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Beld, and it's my privilege to interview the movers, shakers, and change makers impacting the Vista community and beyond. Today, I am joined by Nadeem Haddad from SVN Vanguard. Nadeem is a property specialist for the firm's national retail group. He represents buyers and sellers of investment properties throughout the West Coast. Nadeem has more than 19 years' experience in real estate and marketing, and he was previously a U.S. Department of Commerce representative responsible for managing, deploying, and implementing department standards and practices to achieve project goals and gathering statistical data. Nadeem was appointed to the Business Advisory Council by the National Congressional Committee in Washington, D.C., which plays a crucial role in efforts to involve top business leaders in the process of government reform. Mr. Haddad is humbled by his awards and distinctions with the recent designation earned from the Commercial Brokers Association, and he was selected as the Vista Chamber New Business of the Year in 2023. Nadeem's knowledgeable insights based on his involvement in the Commercial Real Estate Alliance of San Diego and the International Council of Shopping Centers, ICSC. Nadeem received his MBA certificate from Tulane University and a designation in business supervision from Citrus College. Also, Nadeem holds a real estate broker license as a notary public in the state of California, and he's a volunteer at the Chamber. And welcome, Nadeem. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So I want to start with kind of understanding what is SVN Vanguard? What do you do when you represent buyers and sellers, and what does that mean?
So we're basically a national commercial real estate firm. We've been around for probably longer than I've been around as a person.
Mm-hmm.
The company itself is based out of Boston. We're a franchisee in the state of California, representing about 4 locations. Our primary locations are Kearney, Mesa, San Diego, Irvine, Santa Ana, Orange County, and then we launched our newest office in Vista as of last year.
Great. So what makes your office different or special compared to maybe some of how do you stand out?
So on a national level from commercial real estate, a lot of the brokerages are geared towards the bigger conglomerates. We're trying to really put ourselves out in the community to help out the local investors, also national investors, and be a part of a city that is growing tremendously fast. So there's a lot happening on the commercial real estate side, from multifamily to retail, office, land developments. And we felt that Vista was a great place to be for us to cater towards that commercial need. Commercial real estate is everywhere around us. As much as it is with residential, they're both intertwined together. It's really important to be here.
Wow. So what is changing in commercial real estate? It seems like I know there's some tax laws that have changed with regard to like generational ownership. And so what kinds of things are changing that you're helping your clients navigate?
I mean, that's a really good question. There are so many things that are changing every single day.
Mm-hmm.
On the tax part of it, I'm not going to go beyond that scope. I think that's best left for the experts. We do keep up with all of the changes that are happening, but I think right now the number one thing is it has to do with multifamily. We need a lot of housing and also office space. There's a big vacancy in the office sector. You can blame it on the pandemic or what have you, but our commercial market is changing in respect to the needs of how we're using these properties.
Don't you think the office rates were already, vacancy rates and office uses were already rising pre-COVID, right?
In some ways they were. I think COVID definitely is the one that intensified it even more.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask, 100 people in a room, how many people work out of their home at least twice a week? And then you can see the correlation between the vacancies in office and what we have right now in our economy.
So do you think that there's a move towards repurposing those office properties to either retail or into the multifamily space? Is that what you're seeing or what you think is coming?
That's actually a really good question. I think it's going to be on a case-by-case basis, whether or not certain offices can be converted into multifamily. If it was up to us, everybody would love to convert a vacant office building into multifamily, but there are some intricate details to how that can be done. At least in the restructuring of those types of buildings. So I believe it is evolving and changing on a regular basis right now. It's just more like, let's look at each property on an individual basis to see whether or not that fits the scope of making that change to it.
So it sounds like then the services that you provide your clients is really custom to each person's needs and what they're looking for or what they're buying or selling. It really sounds like you really help people navigate their unique situation.
Every investor, every client, every person that we talk to has a different situation. If you look at retail and compare it to office, those are two different things. If you look at multifamily and compare it to industrial, those are two different things. So you're right. Every conversation, every challenge that we face in our industry right now is on a case-by-case basis based on the asset class, the product, the property type.
Wow. So it can be really complicated because then there's also like zoning rules that come into play. I mean, that's a huge piece, and what's allowed, especially if you're trying to repurpose properties for one use to another. So it's great that you have that expertise and navigate that. So where did you get that experience? I mean, I know in your bio it said 19 years of experience. Is that something you just kind of learned while doing? Or was there, how did you get to be such an expert in your field?
I grew up around real estate.
Okay.
My family was involved in real estate. Some of the first properties we've ever owned were like small shopping centers, retail convenience stores, gas stations. I've been around it pretty much all my life. Real estate was something that I grew up just learning. It's seeing my father, seeing my uncles, all of them are active in the industry. My father's no longer here, but at the same time, I've learned that was like a valuable lesson for me to understand how real estate works and how do you basically leverage your money and how do you grow for the future. And it's for me, it was all about real estate.
So you had those examples growing up. How do you think people, if you haven't had examples, if you aren't familiar with real estate and you're interested in the topic, where's a good place to start learning? Do you have any suggestions?
I would probably say, I mean, you can go online and learn a lot. I think it's joining a trade organization that specializes in a particular product type. I think that's to begin with, that would be the easiest. And then, of course, if you're in school right now, I would say, continue on with your education. It's got to be real estate, technology, bio, of course. Not a career counselor in any way, but if I look at it, I think if you're in accounting, finance, those are intricate parts of commercial real estate, and of course, government reform. I mean, yeah, the laws are changing. Conditional use permits for different types of properties, rezoning. I mean, real estate has all facets of our society embedded into it. So I would probably say, just join a small trade organization, maybe just educating yourself by reading certain books about real estate. There are so many of them out there.
Okay. So speaking of government regulations, I want to ask you about your experience on the Business Advisory Council. So tell me what that's all about.
That was primarily back in the days. That was quite a while for me. It was just getting involved in business reform. There are so many guidelines and so many red tape involved in in our world in respect to how things are conducted on a business level. And for me, it was just more like advocating for small businesses. I grew up in a family that owned real estate. We were very fortunate in a lot of different ways. But at the same time, we were still considered a small business. So for me, I'm very passionate about helping out small business owners, investment property owners, families that may or may not have a lot of leverage in respect to what they own, but at the same time, they're still considered a small business. It's part of the key aspect of our economy. Small business is important to me.
Yeah, that's great. In Vista, we have just a couple of episodes ago, I was interviewing a gentleman who owns a record store here in town. And he talked about how his landlord owned this small kind of shopping area in historic downtown, and how having a good landlord and having a good relationship was basically the secret to his success, and the way that he was able to, at a very young age, be able to be successful as a business owner by having a relationship. And so then we talking about those small landlords, they have a vested interest more so than maybe someone who owns a property from another continent and they own a property here in town. The local owners and those smaller owners are way more invested in who goes in, what type of use is it. They care about who paying the rent, but they also care more about that mix maybe, and getting the right person in there. So I think that's great that you're able to bring your experience as being a small business owner and a small, owning real estate, and then expand that knowledge to help other people. So I think that's really great. What are some ways that you assist some of your, those investment owners, the folks that aren't the mega owners? What are some ways that you help them?
So we do have clients that are what we call national clients. They are bigger conglomerates. We work with them. The relationship that we try to build with them is based on helping them fill vacancies where they do have them in certain offices, retail centers. And we're basically trying to find a good match for different properties. So if we have an investor that's owned a certain piece of property for so many years, and now they're looking at their disposition state of what they're going to do with that property and how they're going to make a lateral move, maybe exchange it into a 1031, or maybe do what we call an up leg in respect to adding more money and buying something bigger. So every client is different. It's all about that relationship building. We don't get to know a particular client until we meet with them. We understand what it is that they own, maybe even help them value a property. So just to tell them, hey, you know what, this is what it's worth right now compared to when you bought it, or even looking at rent rolls, trying to help them maybe restructure the actual property itself so they can capture more from what the market offers.
Wow. Okay, cool. So I have to ask, what led you to get involved with the Vista Chamber? So what led you to join the Vista Chamber?
I think I've been very passionate about the Vista Chamber. I've been involved in North County for quite some time with different types of chambers also, but I've felt a little bit more homey being part of the Vista Chamber. I think everybody's very welcoming. I think I've said that before. You guys have a different feel in respect to how Vista operates. Everyone, the council members at the city, even the planning department, people are receptive, people are helpful. And if you feel that way in a certain environment, you tend to want to be part of it also. I think that's important.
Yeah. Well, we like having you around. You've been so helpful. And I know that, you've helped some of our members with when they've had just a generic question or wanted some quick advice, which is really nice.
At J&R Auto Body and Paint, you don't have to worry about a thing. From minor dents and dings to major collision repair, we offer a worry, hassle-free experience with superior customer service. Our auto claim advisors work directly with your insurance company, so you don't have to deal with the headaches. Our certified technicians work on all makes and models to get your repair done right the first time. We stand behind our work with a lifetime warranty. Locally and family-owned, J&R Auto Body is here to serve the community. Call us today at 760-724-4923.
Hi, it's Carrie from Solatube Home in Vista, California. If you're looking for ways to brighten and cool your home, we are your natural light and fresh air experts. We offer a selection of daylighting and ventilation products to help make your home beautiful and comfortable. And the best part of all is you won't be using any electricity to brighten up. We can bring beautiful, natural light into those dark spaces in your home, transforming them into beautifully lit spaces in less than 2 hours. No mess, no fuss, just amazing natural light to make your home look and feel great. If you're looking to cool off your home, we have a complete line of ventilation products to keep your home and garage cool. We want to make cooling and refreshing your home easier and more energy efficient than ever with our line of whole house fans, solar attic fans, and garage fans. Our certified installers carry the full line of Solatube daylighting and ventilation products on their vans at all times. Installation can usually be done in about 2 hours. No messy drywall, paint repair, structural changes, or re-roofing needed. It's pretty much the easiest home improvement project you'll ever take on. At Solatube Home, we offer no obligation appointments throughout Southern California. Visit our website at solatubehome.com or stop by our showroom conveniently located in Vista at 2210 Oak Ridge Drive, or give us a call, 619-375-1629. We look forward to brightening your day.
For more than 60 years, Tri-City Medical Center has been committed to advancing the health and wellness of the community we serve. With leading-edge emergency care, including top-rated heart and stroke programs, advanced orthopedics, primary care, obstetrics, and neonatal care, Tri-City stands at the ready when you need us most. Learn more at tricitymed.org.
What is the absolute best part of the work that you do? What's your favorite thing?
A lot of my colleagues think it's crazy. We're all in it, of course. Everybody's there to make a living, a decent living, without a doubt. So it's not even about the money aspect. It's about taking on challenges. Some people are discouraged with taking on certain challenges that you help out a client today, you build a relationship with them, you technically may not get paid today. However, if you keep building that relationship and showing that you genuinely care about their business and about them in the long haul, it's a reward that you reap. And I'm a person that's very compassionate about helping people. In respect to looking at the challenges of our industry, it's about looking at zoning, like you were just asking, or looking at conditional use permits of how do we bring in different types of businesses into a certain area, and what is it that we have to do in order for us to make that work. And sometimes it's an idea, it's a thought process, but until you start working at it and reading the legalities of certain things, and you understand that, there's a bigger aspect to dealing with the challenge. And I think for me, part of the reward is helping people and accomplishing a goal that some people are just not inclined to do. They think it's overwhelming, and they say, this is too hard of a transaction. I'm probably not going to touch it. Maybe you can help them out. Or if you're more patient with certain clients that need hand-holding in respect to information and what you can offer them.
Do you look at some of these transactions like puzzles? Kind of where everything needs to just kind of like this moves to the left and then this moves to the right and this can slide in place. Is it kind of like a puzzle for you?
It is kind of like a puzzle because there are so many intricate facets to putting a deal together. If there's financing, if there's legal implications that we need to understand, tax implications, zoning implications, working with developers, working with investors, trying to get them all on the same page, having them all be part of the same team with the same mindset. It is like a puzzle. And sometimes you work with certain people that hinder the transaction. So you have to find other parties that are more interested or more receptive to kind of understanding how to put the deal together. So it is like a puzzle. Even though the work that you do and the work that I do are very different, I feel like you also just described quite a bit of my job as well, where it's, where you have so many players, everyone needs to win, a win for everybody. And to find the win for everybody is like threading that needle a little bit. And when you get it right, it's like, yes, that feeling of like, we did it. They said it couldn't be done and we did it. And then you feel like taking a victory lap. I mean, you'd be surprised. Some of these transactions take months and months to close.
Even years, maybe.
Yeah, years. Development projects take years. Just entitlements can possibly take a few years depending on how intricate the project is. And if you're patient with it and understanding that how certain things work, that being part of the city, they talk about a 20-year development plan. Some people think everything is going to just pop up one day just because it's part of the plan. It takes time, and you just have to be flexible. You just got to be understanding and just kind of look at the bigger aspect of it, the bigger picture.
Absolutely. I remember being on city staff and working with city staff about trying to recruit a specific type of use, right? And we would identify something and would say, okay, we want this type of use there. And then 7 years later, that use is going in, right? Because it's just a long game, right? It takes so long. But I find that so fascinating. So So what's hard then about it? I mean, is it the same answer? What's good is what's bad?
Yeah, I would never say it's easy.
Yeah.
So to say that it's hard, it's challenging, nothing is easy in life. We know that. I mean, you just have to deal with certain personalities. You have to deal with certain challenges, and it's really about your attitude of how you go about working with certain people. And if you feel somebody's overworking you, they might not be the right fit for you or for them. So it's just part of the business. Nothing is easy. So it's
worth it.
It's definitely worth it. Yeah. I mean, for as long as I've been doing it, I think it is definitely worth it. I'm more about, I said, like the challenges of just like accomplishing a goal. It's like running a marathon, it's like you don't get to mile 26 if you don't start at mile 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just really how it goes.
Speaking of marathons, I saw in the notes you sent me that you run marathons. Is that true?
That is true. Yes.
Wow.
I injured myself in October. So, so I'm back in training, physical therapy, had surgery and all that. So, I do run. I'm just, for a lot of people, it's a boring sport. Like, how do you just keep running and running and running? And I guess I was just motivated at a younger age. I played football and wrestling. Okay. And then by the time I started running, I was inspired by somebody that was like 20 years older than me. And then I slowly started running like a 5K and then just pushing myself. And eventually I got to running marathons. I ran a few. A good amount of them. So it's just like a challenge. It's just a mental thing. It's my attitude, my discipline, and just a mindset. It is something that I would not just say to anybody, get up and go start running a marathon today. Right. Test your body out, make sure you're healthy, and just work at, slowly progressing to how many miles, maybe a 0.5K or 5K. It's a strawberry run.
Maybe the strawberry run, perhaps. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Exactly. Good. So I mean, in a career like yours, it's high stress. You're constantly on call. So you run marathons. What else do you do to
I really enjoy traveling.
Yeah.
Then one of my bucket lists is to go to Greece.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if you've ever been there. But,
I have not. It's on my list as well.
I do travel. I think traveling is important to see the world, to interact with people. I love food, so I get to try different things from all over the world and what have you. And I do enjoy also fishing. Fishing, I think it teaches me a lot about being a patient person. Like, you're not necessarily like, everybody wants to catch a big fish, but sometimes you don't catch a big fish. So you just got to be patient with yourself, and it teaches you a lot about discipline, and also it puts you at peace to kind of relax a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. So, okay. So I want to talk to you just a minute about the Heroes of Vista event. What was it like? What did it feel like when your name was on the screen and you were the winner of the award? How did that feel?
I think I kind of was a little bit in shock because I was watching the video, and for some reason, my understanding was that maybe there would be the other nominees' video following our video. Uh-huh. And then someone at our table, they're like, you need to get up and go get your award. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, where are the other videos? They're like, I was very surprised, very honored. Honestly, it kind of like, I was like, wow, like, I can't believe it. I think we worked hard, not just to be involved, but the recognition is always nice. We're not really here for just the recognition. We're here to help. We want to be a part of the community. And I think it was very surprising. Yeah. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's fun. It's fun. It's fun. When we have that event, there's only a couple people who know who the winners are. And of course I know beforehand because I helped to edit, do the video stuff. And so when I see people, I have to have, I want to say, oh, I'm excited for you. But I have to have a poker face. So hopefully I did a good job.
You did pretty good.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So is there anything else that you want to share about SVN Vanguard or about your role in the community or the ways that you give back? Is there anything else you want to share?
Sure. I mean, SVN Vanguard is going to be here for a long time. We've already been here for quite some time. We're here to help. If you have anything you want us to just be a part of, to kind of review something for you. Our goal is really just to build relationships in the community, offering expertise advice, professional advice, and doing some research. I mean, we don't know all the answers, but I believe that if we have a nice working relationship with the community, the investors, everyone involved, I think that's really what we're looking to do for the long haul of being a part of Vista.
Great. That's awesome. Okay. So I ask all of my guests some questions, rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
I think I am.
Okay. Ready or not? Here they come. Okay. So tell me a book you think everyone should read, or a book that really was special to you.
I think I have several books. I'm definitely educational books of understanding certain things of real estate and what have you, but I think those are kind of boring because, of course, laws change all the time.
Right.
I'm more about self-help, motivating myself. There is a book called Attitude is Everything by Keith Harrell.
Okay.
By Keith Harrell.
I'll put a link in the show notes to the book.
It's a really good, it's an older book.
Okay.
It's not a new book or anything. It's an older book, but it just talks about how your attitude is a big part of what you can accomplish. You may or may not move a mountain in one day, but at the same time, I think your attitude will guide you towards accomplishing a lot of different things that you might have even thought you could do.
Great. I agree. Attitude is everything.
Attitude is everything.
Oh, okay. All right, Nadeem. What's your jam? What's your song choice?
Oh, man.
What's a song you love?
I think music, this is my opinion. Okay,
It's a hard one.
Music is like your mood, It's like you got to pick a different genre for different times, depending on how you feel. If we could always be happy or always be maybe sad sometimes or uplifting or what have you. But one of the newest songs that kind of got to me was, it's called A Beautiful Day. Thank You for the Sunshine by Rushwan.
Okay.
He's the younger kid. I believe he was born in New York, but he has like an African ethnicity.
Okay.
And his song went viral. They've done several remixes for that song. It's a Beautiful Day. Thank You for the Sunshine. I think that's a pretty cool song.
I'm going to look it up. I think I might know it, but I'm going to look it up. It's not when you said it went viral, I think I know which one it is.
Yes.
But yeah, if it's what I'm thinking, I mean, I'm sure it's a great song, but I'll link to it in the show notes as well.
And the reason I say that because I think the kid in the video, the kid that sang the song was so inspiring that it makes me think about like, what is it that we can do also as adults? Because this kid he just was himself. He was genuine and he sang it with all his heart. And I don't know, to me, that's like a really cool, uplifting type of song.
Yeah, authenticity it's
really important.
It's really cool. Yeah. Okay. All right. I love it. Okay. Tell me something that inspires you.
What inspires me is people that are genuine to help without expecting anything in return. To me, that's what inspires me. It's if we can get more people in our community, in our world, to just do more simple things, maybe help out a neighbor or help out a small business or help out a friend or what have you, or maybe even a stranger. I think that's something that I look up to. I'm like thinking, there's a bigger reward in like wanting to be helpful and resourceful as a human being. And that's really what inspires me.
Love that. Okay, last question. A Vista business that you think deserves a shout out.
Wow. That's a loaded question.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a hint. So oftentimes I ask this question and the answer is maybe somebody I might have on the podcast another time.
Okay.
So if that helps narrow it down for you.
I'm going to say that there are a lot of great businesses in Vista, a lot of great organizations. I'm like, even like the Boys and Girls Club or the San Diego Food Bank Vista chapter. I do have to say that Lifeline Community Services, going to their award banquet that they had maybe about a month ago or
it was a few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago. That was really inspiring. Like just to see all these people that have dedicated their time and effort and helping out a community that, like an organization that's been around 50 years now plus or something like that. And having these people to just ordinary people that are giving back to the community and being part of it. To me, I do have to say that Lifeline is got to be one of the best ones out there. And that's not to say that there are a lot of great organizations in Vista and a lot of great businesses in Vista.
Lifeline is, I think you're right. The services that they provide and that they've provided for decades is just unparalleled. So that's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you, Nadeem.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being here today. Thanks for taking the time to join me and to talk a little bit about your work and about your life. And so I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah. Thank you to our guest, Nadeem of SVN Vanguard. And thank you for listening to Velocity. If you like what you heard, tell a friend and subscribe. Help us move Vista forward with Velocity. The Vista Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit organization that serves as a catalyst for business growth. Find us online at vistachamber.org.